Hello YouTube, Beanie from the bedroom here, your guitar junkie. So, I just want to make sure that this thing is on. Yeah. So, because of the slack that I've been getting over this here, uh, 59 Greeny Chipson, that's got a Gibson logo on a headstock from AliExpress, which is the only guitar I bought from AliExpress. And the only reason why I bought it is because Gary Moore is my guitar hero. And this is the one that I did extra work on to make it look exactly like his guitar. Even had the pickups handmade from Australia and shipped here. So, with that said, whatever video I did with this guitar, either talking about it, saying where I got it from, what I did, what kind of work, playing it in the video, whatever, I get a ration of crap over it. Oh, that's a counterfeit. That's a fake. It's a fraud. You're promoting illegal activities. You bought it from China, from some 11-year-old girl is working in a slave sweatshop in China, doing these yada yada yada, crying like a bunch of babies. So again, for the billionth time, my game plan was when I ordered this, the pictures that, or how I wanted it, because he was really just showing me the body. I wanted an all black headstock. And when I got it, unbeknownst to me, it's got the Gibson logo inside the headstock like a real Gibson. And then it had Les Paul in script, which I took off. I can't remove this because it's in the wood, just like a real Gibson. And my game plan at that time was to put a Chibson logo, or originally Greeny/Moore on the headstock. But because of the ration of crap I get over this guitar, because I bought it from China off AliExpress, and it's an exact copy of the real deal, and it plays and sounds and feels amazing. And if there's any hard pressed Gibson snob that lives around my area that wants to argue over it, I would let him play this next to any one of his. Put a bag over the headstock, put a blinder on, give you a couple guitars, and then I hand you this one, and then you tell me that this is a piece of crap. So what I had done is, I because of the argument that goes on over this guitar, and I don't like it. It's crazy. I'm not doing this for fun. You get those telephone tough guys and the computer keyboard punching tough guys in the safety of their home or bedroom and sitting there punching in a bunch. They won't say that to me on the street because there would be a different outcome. But on the computer, all of a sudden, they grew a pair, and it frustrates me because I don't do this video YouTube channel for that reason, and I don't like being confronted over something that I can't really handle face to face with somebody. So sometimes I'll write something back a little snotty. A lot of times I'll just type out a bunch of shit with curses and everything else, and then after I read it, I get it out of my system and then I delete it. But for the most part, you know, um, to me, it wasn't worth the hassle half the times. So I said, let me just go through what I wanted to go through. I have my own decal guy. He's a graphic designer. He's not decals. Yeah, decals. So he does everything from signage to stuff on cars, and he's worked on my cars. He's put some graphic decals on a couple of my Porsches, and he's got his own business. He's a mobile guy. I think I mentioned him a while ago. But I don't want him traveling all the way out to my house just for a little sticker. So I went to the Oldsmobile Flea Market. I'm in Palm Harbor, just right down the road from me. I knew a couple that was in there with a baby they used to have in a playpen, and they've done a couple of little stuff for me, and they were gone. And it was this sign guy that's always been there, but again, he looked like a big time sign guy with giant decals, giant signage. He does flyers, he does car wraps, he does it all. And I asked him, I said, hey, you know, this is what I need. I need the Gibson logo in that kind of font, but it has to say Chipson. And can you do like in a circular kind of thing, Greeny / more 59 for the back of the headstock? He says, no problem. Okay. So um, he's working on it. While he's working on it, I'm looking around. I'm seeing other things. So yeah, my brain starts to go. And I did a little bit more than just this guitar, but one thing at a time. So he made me the Chibson logo in white, and it had no black backing to it. It was just the lettering. So I put it over the front of the headstock, and you could see the Gibson logo underneath the Chipson white logo. And the logo that I got was one by two by one inch wide by 2 inches long. So it was a little bit longer, and I thought it would cover better. But it didn't. You could just see one logo on top of the other, and it looked horrible. And a buddy of mine that's a professional musician, we talk all the time. I don't want to mention his name. Um, I, he just happened to be calling me while I'm doing it. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm finally changing the decals on the guitar." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Because it's pissing people off." He says, "Well, it's their problem. Let them deal with it. It looks good the way it is." He says, "I like the Gibson." He says, "Who cares?" And I was like, "Well, just to try to, calm people down. Too many arguments going on." He's like, "Screw them." So I did it anyway, and it didn't look good. So because you put it on with soapy water, I slid it off and I put it on the back instead. So I'm still not promoting a Gibson counterfeit. I'm not trying to put anything over on anybody. So that's the label that was supposed to be on the front, the Chipson, and there's my Greeny. And instead of a slash, I put a star in there. I thought the star was better because they are stars. So I had the guy put instead of a slash or a wiggly line. That's what I was going with, either or. He put Greeny More 59. So isn't that sweet? But I didn't stop there. Yeah. I saw a thing, flipping through his books because, I'm just wasting time. And you're familiar with this. This is my vintage brand. It's a company that's in England, right? So there it is. It's a vintage V 1003 limited edition. Um, it's like this limited edition something, second edition or something like that, reissue of the first one they made. And this is my Ace Frehley with the 3 pickups. All right. So this is the vintage 1003 V Ace Frehley guitar. So what did I do? Yeah, I put Ace Frehley on the back. Yeah. What do you think of that? Cool, right? Awesome. Then as I'm looking around and I'm having them make that up, I'm getting really silly. This is the one that I bought used. Well, I didn't buy it actually. I traded an amp for it. This is the a jelly, a jal, a jolly, a it's I don't know how to pronounce it, but this brand, okay, 3000 series. That's the back. Proper Grover tuners on here. That's a real graphite nut. Remember those in the 80s when they first came out? You have um, an ebony fingerboard with abalone inlays. Gorgeous guitar with a quilted maple top. And these pickups, they must be super distortion pickups because they're screaming pickups. So what I had done is, because I said I saw this and I felt like I had to adopt it from Guitar Center before someone else got it. I already put the blue knobs on it. And to make sure that I never sell this guitar, because this thing here is a killer. I think they're a little overpriced, personally. I did that. Yeah, I did that. I put that dragon on the back. Wolves and dragons are the biggest thing for the Viking Norwegians. For, on their shields and on their helmets and on their swords sometimes, their armor. So I did that on the back. And yeah, isn't that cool? So that's how it happened. And the guy that was at the Oldsmobile Flea Market, he also does complete wraps on guitars. He was showing me how he did a complete, like, American flag wrap on an acoustic guitar. He also told me he did 2 Eddie Van Halen Frankenstein Stratocasters. He did those in a wrap that looked like identical. And the guy's name is Jay, and it's Riz Graphics, and that's his number. That's for my local buddies, and he does everything. He does the same thing as my other buddy does. He does complete car wraps as well. So yeah, Jay hooked me up, and I got to tell you, the hardest thing is, if you're gonna do this, is I use my old PPA card. He said just use a credit card, but I didn't want the water to affect if there was anything. Nowadays they have the chips and stuff. I used my old PPA card. The hardest thing is peeling the paper off of the decal, and doing that first, because you got to get every little nook and cranny, because you'll start to peel it and all of a sudden this will be stuck behind, this will be stuck behind, a couple of these will be stuck, this will be stuck behind. So the easiest thing to do is to take your time and curl it. As you're peeling it, you got to actually curl it off so it still sticks to it. And make sure, I only put, like he said, a couple of drops of water in a squirt bottle, and I got to move it around where I wanted to, and then, just use this here to get all the bubbles out, and give it a minute or two. I wiped it dry with a paper towel and peeled it, and this is the outcome. So if you're planning on doing it, if you got a guitar like you see the Leo James, they have them with the American flag, or they have it with the British flag. That's also it's the rebel flag here, British flag there, but Union Jack. Or if you just any kind of, if you have a plain boring front, or you have something you want to do on the back, any kind of design, he can do it. But I'm sure if he can do it, whatever state or country you're in, if you're thinking about doing the same thing, it might be something. If you got a guitar that you like, but you're like, I want to spruce it up a little bit. Yeah, that's what you could do. And you might go crazy like I did. Start with 1, end up with 3. So I got the 1, I got the 3. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day, and a better tomorrow.